just hit myself in the face with a watermelon. Okay. This is going to be very, very heavy. All I'm doing is turning it around. It's extremely heavy. I'm going to try to do it on my own. I was going to wait until my son is home from work so he can help me. But I'm hard-headed. I might just go ahead and continue to try to do it. Go. I don't know if I told you the reason why. I have two zip ties and also this material. These fiberglass stakes, hope you can hear me, they're very smooth. So the shade cloth, normally I would just put the shade cloth directly on it with the zip tie, but because the surface is so smooth, it would slide right off. So what I did is I added that fabric, you know, that fabric that you use in your, on a shelf or in your kitchen that has, it's sort of, the material it's made out of, things won't slide or slip. So I just cut squares and I added that first to the pole so it can have some grip. And then I put the shade cloth over it and a second zip tie. So that's why it's like that. I don't know if I ever shared that. So, but right now, since I'm turning this around, I'm gonna move this pole. I love these. I found those I found them at Ollie's. If you're not familiar with Ollie's, it's a closeout store. So basically they find products and items from stores that are closing out or maybe even discontinued items, and they sell them dirt cheap at their store. So I shop there a lot and I find real good things like this. These and this is a name brand. This is actually Miracle Grow. These stakes are Miracle Grow stakes in fiberglass, and I want to say they're 6 feet tall. So they're taller than the wooden stakes that I was using that I got from I want to say either Lowe's or Home Depot. They work great too. I use them, and I don't have to use any of that fabric on that because they're wooden and they're square. The shade cloth stays on without any problem. But with these fiberglass stakes, I had to use that material. So. Let me see if I can get this for this. All right. More shuffling. You have no idea how heavy this thing is. And I did it. Wow. Whew. I thought it was gonna be harder than that, but I did it. Okay, so now it's basically just straightening it up, and so the vines can flow out this way. But before, the hardest part was moving it. I'm sweating. You should see it. Okay. Well, you do see me, huh? Okay. Gotta redo the trellis. And now that the vine, because the vines were actually growing into the garden, so I want them to flow out this way into the yard. But I will have to add some more, what do you call it? Weed barrier. So what I do is I put almost 2 layers of weed barrier, and then I come over it with one of these green tarps. So that's what I've done throughout the garden. So I'm gonna do that again now. This, like I said, this was the heaviest part, to actually turn this around. Now I'm gonna have to train the vines to go out this way, and instead of into the garden, because I couldn't even walk in between over there where the corn is and that raised bed, because the vines were all over the place and I didn't want to step on them. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up. So I'm gonna turn the camera off and finish up, and then maybe I'll come back and show you everything when it's finished, when I have the ground covered and all of that, and the vines are coming out. Or I may record a little of it, you never know. But, all right, guys. Just want to knock the grass down a little bit before I add the weed barrier, so the surface will be smoother. It's a mess now. I like it when it starts off and it's all messy, but then towards the end you have everything all cleaned up. It's like, job well done. And I'm sweating. Look at me. Look, Spider-Man sweating. Okay. All right. Next step. Weed barrier. had to switch shoes. Those boots, they were so hot. Try using a larger tarp. The one I have on there now is a 4x6. This is a 6x8. So first I put down the weed barrier, and then I go with the tarp. Probably better to use landscaping fabric. I just don't want to pay the cost. This is cheaper. But yeah, you can see when you have the weed barrier combined with this, it lasts pretty long time. But if you just have plain weed barrier in those areas where you see that grass is coming up, I just had weed barrier and I thought that would be enough. So I didn't use this. So that's lesson learned. Don't just use plain weed barrier. If you can afford to get what they call landscaping fabric, it's a different ball game. But I just don't want to pay the price. I just don't. Hey, going the cheaper route. Pretty soon I will be doing it. But it takes a while to get used to. It's been a great day to use my little sleeves. That's good. That'll work. Landscape their pins. Ground is so wet and soft right now. I don't even have to use my little rubber mallet. I'll use the smaller one over there. But first thing first, I have to put the weed barrier. I normally do 2 layers of weed barrier, and then I put the tarp over it. So I'm gonna do the same thing in this area to kind of, because there's already a tarp here and weed barrier, but to extend it, I'm going to overlap it, use the weed barrier, 2 layers of it, and then come back over with the smaller tarp. So, we'll see how that works. You know, little mats you used to get your kids in kindergarten. I still have, my youngest child will be 20 years old. I'm talking about you. He looked over his shoulder. He'll be 20 years old next month. And this is his mat from when he was in kindergarten. And I still have it. I'm like, I'm not getting rid of this. You can use this for something. Look at it. Out in the garden rolling around. On a little nap mat. Wow. All right. Okay. Let me finish up. So basically, instead of the watermelon vines growing into the garden where other vegetables and plants are, because they actually will tangle themselves around other plants. So I wanted to grow out into the yard. So put down some fabric so they can freely grow outwards. Whew. Break time. That will be the hardest thing I do today. Everything else is easy peasy compared to that. Actually, I was putting that off, but it needed to be done because, like I said, those vines growing into the garden was prohibiting me from going down that little walkway where the corn is and the raised bed, because I didn't want to walk on the vines. So now that it's turned outwards and it's growing towards the yard, it'll be okay. I'm still going to keep it maintained because it is important to prune your watermelon plants also, because there are some vines that are growing that has no flowers attached, and they're just growing, and it's taking up the energy and the nutrients from the other part of the plant that is actually producing fruit. And if you want larger watermelon and you want more fruit, you do need to prune it. So I will be doing that. And actually, I was very happy to see there are some bees out there, because I was worried. I'm like, all these flowers, and I'm seeing male and female flowers, and normally I would hand pollinate, but it's been either scorching hot or raining, so I can't get out there and do it. But I see that there are some busy bees out there. I'm actually looking at one right now. So they are pollinating my watermelon flowers. That's great. So, like I said, that's the hardest thing I'm going to do today. I'm cooling off, staying hydrated. So, that'll be the hardest thing I'll do today, what you just saw me do. And the rest is easy peasy. So, you guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. To those of you who have decided to subscribe, thank you for joining me on the journey. And for those who haven't decided yet, why don't you give it a try? You never know, you might enjoy the journey. So happy Saturday, guys, and happy gardening. Bye now.